Hey y'all, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to show you the Commonplace notebook that I've started a few months ago. I had never heard of Commonplace books or Commonplace notebooks until I got into the planner community a couple years ago. And I didn't realize it, but Commonplace notebooks have been around forever. Lots of famous people like Mark Twain, Thomas Jefferson, John Hancock, Virginia Woolf, a lot of famous people keep books like this. Um, I heard from another content creator, and I honestly can't remember which one because I watch a lot of content creators, but one of them said that main difference between a commonplace notebook and your own personal journal or planner is the fact that your journal or planner are your thoughts. A commonplace book is a place for you to collect the thoughts of other people. So, things that usually go into a commonplace notebook are things like quotes, recipes. I've got lots of different things in here. So, let me just show you what I've got. So, this is actually um, a Stalogy notebook. It's the half year one. Had I known what I was going to do with this, I would have bought the full year one with the 370 pages in it. But uh, hindsight's 2020. This is actually a good experiment for me. So the cover's very plain. So I added a couple of things on here. My um, husband had gotten a Princess Bride T-shirt, and they threw these stickers in. So of course, this is exactly where they belong. So, and I did put um, an A5 cover on this. I believe this might be from Sterling Ink. I'm not 100% sure, but because I got a few, but it's just a regular cover to protect it and give it a little bit of stiffness to get around. So inside here, I made a little index about the type of things I'm collecting: quotes, leadership topics, self improvement, recipe, how to, spiritual insights, notes on music and singing, wild ideas. I'm not sure why I wrote that one in there, and I'm not sure exactly what would qualify as a wild idea because these are other people's thoughts, but and also some book insights. So as I'm reading nonfiction books like self-help books, leadership books, professional development, I'll put some notes in here. So this is how I started it out. I had some washi tape, and so I thought I would kind of make it decorative a little bit. And it does look pretty cool, I gotta say. Um, and then I've seen other content creators set up their commonplace books this way, kind of the category over here on the outer side, and then they'll put the meat of what they're wanting to record in here. Um, but you can really do it any way you want, any way that you want to set it up. I have seen other content creators also color code their different categories. I may go back and do that at some point. I just haven't done it to this at this time. It's always something I can go back and do. It's no big deal. So, but I love collecting quotes. That's always been something I've done. I've in planners past, I would have special pages within my planner itself for quotes that I would get. But then when I caught on to the idea of a commonplace notebook that I could put all of that kind of stuff in, I was sold. It was easy to do. So, so for the first few pages, I went and took various different washi tapes I had, some pretty, some not so pretty exactly, to use that. I even did have some times where I feel inspired enough to do some doodles in there. It's not always going to be that way, but if I do, great. That because this is my book. This is really for me and for my learning and for my information. So I can actually do it however I want. It is not a big deal. So for a while, I did the washi tape thing where I did the part at the top, and then separated my 1/3 of the page on the edge, and then the 2/3 for the meat of whatever I was doing. I did that for a while, and it's okay. It does add some color to the page. The idea, though, for this is it doesn't have to be decorative. It can be if you want it to be, but it doesn't have to be. At the time I started this book, I felt inspired to use some of my washi on this, so that's why it's there. So, and then you'll see that some of these will be like holiday washi, because this is around the time that I was, making these particular notes. So when I was inspired to decorate my page, that's what we got. Plus, it used up some washi that I probably never would have otherwise used up. But as you can see, there's lots of recipes. I got into recipes pretty deep there for a while. I'll write down quotes from people. Lots of quotes and recipes I'm finding that I've done. And then this is when I got my fountain pens I got a little starter kit, fountain pen kit from Jet Pens for Christmas. And so I started using some of that. Those are pretty good. My washi started to thin out. I have several rolls of thin washi like this. This seemed to work pretty good. One of the things I was concerned with using washi on this is it going to bulk this up too much? But then I decided, it's not that big a deal. If it bulks it up, it does. I mean, it's whatever's going to make me happy at the moment. So then I started getting a little more minimalistic and started just, drawing lines, and that's it. And I'm not sure why I highlighted this one. I think because at the time it really stuck out to me. Big fan of NCIS, and one of the characters on there made a quote that says it was after seeing one of his agent colleagues. I don't know if you watched the show, but Nick Torres is one of the agents, and Ellie Bishop is the other. They definitely have this thing for each other, or they did. It was several seasons ago, but they did. And the episode where this quote came from said, Nick was saying to Ellie that close calls make you live harder. And as an agent, he had been through several close calls himself. But the thing that inspired him to say this is he watched Ellie get nearly blown up, which happens a lot with, special agents and NCIS, obviously. Lots of opportunities for that. But this stuck out for me personally because last year my husband and I had our own close call where he had a serious medical event that landed him in intensive care for 2 weeks. So ever since then, we have been living life harder because it does make you think about that. Anyway, I digress. So that's why that particular quote is highlighted there, because it really stuck out to me. By the way, the NCIS is 21 seasons long, and we have been watching it from the beginning. We're currently in season, I want to say 18. So we're getting closer and closer. We're in the time period where COVID had happened, and the show was on. Every show was on hiatus for filming during that time because of COVID protocols and such. But we're finally in the episodes where they've started. You'll see them wear masks and do, a lot more hand sanitation and that type of thing. So you kind of know the time period based on those little clues. All right. So enough of that digression. I could probably talk about that particular show all day long, but I will move on. So, also doing things like vocab words. Again, NCIS, there was an episode about a retired Navy officer who decided to unalive himself in his garage with carbon monoxide poisoning. And this particular man kept a lot of ephemerina, and I'd never heard that word before. So I looked it up, and it means that it's things that exist or are used to enjoy only for a short time. Usually things like collectible memorabilia, types of written or printed receipts. This particular character had obviously photographs. He had receipts from restaurants. He had the receipt from when he bought his fiance an engagement ring, that type of thing. And all of the whole show was centered around the agents going through this guy's ephemerina to determine what a murder that had happened about 30 years prior to that. So the show was a combination of current day where the agents were going through the ephemerina and where they reenacted what they believed happened based on the evidence that they had, with the main NCIS characters playing the parts of the naval officer, the fiance's dad, who didn't want her to marry. At the time when they met and they fell in love, he was just a sailor. He had not, risen in ranks yet. And she was from a well-to-do family. The dad didn't want them to get married. Lots of other things. I'm not going to spoil it for you in case you ever see the episode. But anyway, the whole episode was them going through all of the ephemerina of this gentleman and using that as ways to put the clues together to determine that the fiance ended up being murdered at some point, and they were able to put things together based on that to determine who actually did it. And like I said, I won't spoil it for you in case you haven't seen it. So, vocabulary words, what to use. So, and then of course more spiritual insights, recipes, etc. And so that's kind of where we're at. I mark where I'm at with an Avery sticky label, one of the ones that you can reposition, every place, and it stays. I've been doing this one for quite a bit, and it has stayed pretty sticky. So not too concerned if it, ends up not being sticky anymore, because I do have a couple of more that I can use. But anyway, that is where we're at with this. I'm enjoying filling it up, and you can see that the Toma River paper, because it's thinner Bible paper, as people like to call it. When you write on it, it does kind of curl up, which I actually dig. I do like that. I hadn't had any planners or notebooks with this type of paper until the past 6 months or so, and I'm really digging it. I love chunky planners. I like seeing how this is developing. I can't explain it, but it just does something for my soul, for my planner soul. So anyway, that is the tour of my Commonplace notebook. Tell me in the comments, have you started one? And if you have, what kind of things have you put in there? Be interested to know. Thank you very much for watching today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would. Please hit the like button so that the algorithm will bring my videos up so that other people can enjoy them. Please feel free to share this with your friends, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.